Here we go, lights out. Gary Horsepole away from the pole position. The number 2 of Gary Bryan and Phil Hyde shooting through and up into second place. But Chris Walker is in the lead of this sidecar race. And we said watch out for number 17. They are in second position.
Yeah, Lee Crawford and Scott Hardy on that short chassis in second position. That was their plan, to use the reverse grid rule to their advantage, get out in front and make life difficult. It's quite wide as well, that outfit, so it's going to be difficult to pass.
Well, Gary Bryan's the man who's going to try and pass it in the next few seconds. It was a great start for Bryan, wasn't it? And further back, Steve Kershaw, of course, the reigning champion, looking to cut through, and his teammate Todd Ellis, who's the current champion. Fourth bridge in the background there. What a glorious afternoon it's actually proving to be now that the rain has gone away. But this is what the crowd want to see here in the BSB paddock. Chris Walker leading a sidecar race.
Indeed, and he was strong here in his 2017 season before he had the bad accident, and he was on the podium, 2016 season, I beg your pardon, he was on the podium 3 times, so he likes Knockhill, the number 9 Chris Walker, reunited with Ashley Hawes, and right behind them, Crawford and Scott Hardy. Look at the battle for third.
Oh, that's Blackstock cutting through, isn't it? Lewis Blackstock and Paddy Rosney on the blue and white outfit, number 95. This is excellent action here, early doors in the Sidecar Championship, sideways in the Sidecar Championship, and back at the front it's changed. Walker's lost the lead, through goes Lee Crawford and Scott Hardy. Well, their debut weekend, Barry Nutley, in the championship, here as wildcards. No, they can't score championship points, but what the heck, they're in the lead of the race.
Scottish champions, former Scottish champions, second, as I said, in the British FSRA F2 Championship. Walker did not like that move. He's going to fight back. The long chassis should technically handle better around here. Walker's on the inside, but the power of the 17 up the hill will prove superior.
Oh, and contact in the background as well. I think there's a wheel rubbing or something there for the number 2 of Gary Bryan. There was some smoke in the background as Chris Walker, the stalker now, has a real look into only the third of the 15 laps. He's not close enough, is he? Not close enough there for Chris Walker. Reunited with Ashley Hawes. There was a change of passenger, wasn't there, after the Cadwell meeting last weekend. Remember, this is the 3rd consecutive sidecar meeting. They've gone from Brands to Cadwell, and someone off in the background, somebody in the gravel coming out of Scotsman. Where do you look early doors in this race? Back on. Oh, and there's the smoke I spotted before from Gary Bryan.
That looks like bodywork rubbing.
Yes, he's trying to put it out, look. Oh, there it goes. Phil Hyde did a good job there to pull that one out. One of the Quattraplant JG Speedfit bikes is out as well. Ben Holland and Lee Watson, second DNF in 2 races for them.
I tell you what, if they get any luck at all, it's bad luck. And it's just, there's Lewis Blackstock going through, and Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson. Here goes Chris Walker again. He's going to have another move on Lee Crawford. He's alongside, and he will be very brave on the brakes here. Chris Walker will not back out of this, I can tell you, but look at that round there.
You don't get much closer to touching than that, do you? This is what Chris Walker wanted to come back into the Sidecar Championship for this year. He's not messing around in the middle of the field. He wants to be up here fighting for the lead, but they're being closed in on because Todd Ellis is one of the 2 in this group here, catching Todd Ellis, who is leading the championship. There's the bodywork that was thrown off a moment ago, so at least that's out of the way. And watch out also for Stevens and Charwood, twice champions, 5th position, fastest lap of the race so far.
Todd Ellis leading the championship by 42 points. Hello, we have someone climbing up. Who's that?
Oh, is it? It's Andy Peach, isn't it?
It's Andy Peach.
It is.
Ken Edwards limping away.
Oh dear, so Andy Peach still in the outfit, passenger Ken Edwards limping away. This is down at the Scotsman corner, formerly known as McIntyre's, of course. Well, I don't know where to look next to you as we move into the 5th lap here. We're only a third of the way through the race at the end of this lap. Let's just take stock very quickly. It's Crawford and Hardy leading on their debut weekend. Walker now dropping into the clutches of Blackstock and Rosney and Edison Richardson.
Blackstock looking good. He's finding a way past Walker. He'll be hunting. And Todd Ellis, of course, championship leader, has got to stay in front of Steve Kershaw, who, well, I'm looking down the running order, and Kershaw has got a problem. He's out of it.
Well, we didn't see that, did we? Steve Kershaw, what's happened to him? Have they made some contact, I wonder, coming through? Well spotted, Batter. So outfit 1, Kershaw and Clark, they're being shown as a lap down on our timing screen. We know Holland and Watson are out of the race. Kershaw may have pitted, we believe, and has rejoined the race, but he's obviously run into trouble. That, of course, can be one of the problems on a narrow track like this with the reverse grid. They've obviously hit trouble as they try to carve their way through.
Chris Walker has got second wind again and has tucked right on the back of Lee Crawford, and he wants to get past him. He's going to try every which way.
LCR Suzuki with the lead, LCR Yamaha in second place. Another incident, we believe, at turn 4. It's Andy Peach. It's just been confirmed that the passenger is okay, so that's good news. They've checked him out now, Ken Edwards. So saw him limping away. Big moment for the leaders, though, and look how they've lost momentum now. Completely offline up through the chicane there, and that backs them all up nicely for us, of course. We just want a close race, don't we? And goodness me, we've got one. Who is going to leap first? Who's going to go first? As the leaders, again, they're using all of the racetrack and then some through Clark.
Well, Kershaw a lap adrift, but 53.4, so he's just posted the fastest lap. I'd be intrigued to know what happened early in the race. Blackstock going through, then Walker leads, Blackstock second. It's a hand in the air for Lee Crawford.
Hand in the air for Lee Crawford. Is it too much for the passenger? Is there a problem with the outfit? What a shame for Lee Crawford and Scott Hardy, having led this race. 5 becomes 4 as we move into the 8th lap, and Blackstock and Walker almost making contact down through Duffer's Dip. Stevens has gone through on Ellis as well. This is tremendous.
Wonderful ride by Lewis Blackstock and Paddy Rosney on the Barnes Racing Silicon Engineering blue and white. And there, what a shame for Crawford and Hardy. They were doing themselves proud, weren't they, Greg?
Oh, that really is a shame. What an understatement from us as well. And there goes Todd Ellis through now on Chris Walker. So Walker, who was leading not so long ago, now down into 4th position. But Ricky Stevens will attack in a second. Ricky Stevens, who's yet to win this season. He was on the podium yesterday with second. Ooh, that's a late lunge, Ricky. It's a very late lunge, but it might work. It might work. No. Well, that was late braking, wasn't it, to put it very mildly from Blackstock.
Well, they now try and get the drive up the hill, Ricky, and my guess is he'll try that move next time round, if not before, going into Duffer's Dip at the end of the start-finish straight. He's on the inside, he's late on the brakes, he's got the lead. Blackstock then in second, Ellis and Richardson in third, Chris Walker being dropped away a little bit in 4th, but Todd Ellis will know that Ricky Stevens is no threat to his championship, having only scored his first points this weekend. Oh no! Oh, a huge crash!
Blackstock involved. Walker manages to get round them. Unbelievable. What have Stevens and Charwood got to do to get it back? They were sideways through the chicane, and that tank slapper carried on, and all of a sudden then, can you believe it? Todd Ellis has been gifted this one.
They clipped the curb. It flicked it sideways.
Here we go.
Clipped the curb here. Got it sideways. Oh, torpedo.
Oh.
Very lucky not to be seriously injured, either of those crews. Everyone. Oh.
Well, look at the passenger, Paddy Rosney on the number 95, and Walker somehow avoiding that chaos in front of him.
Chris Walker gifted a podium here, if this goes on this way. That was a racing incident. Everybody's saying, are you okay, mate? I think that's wonderful spirit.
Yeah, it certainly is. The spirit in the sidecar paddock really is second to none, as Chris Walker then inherits second place. So unbelievable after everything. Todd Ellis, who started 12th on the grid, 8th on the grid, now leads this race by Chris Walker from just under a second. And of course, what happens? Holden and Kane now come into the equation, and they're right with Walker for second place.
They do. So the second of the Barnes Racing Silicon Engineering blue and white bikes, John Holden, Lee Kane, 61 years of age, John Holden, TT veteran, just an accomplished sidecar driver, and Lee Kane equally brilliantly talented passenger. Now, can Chris Walker hold on to second place and the second step on the podium? We've still got 4 laps to go here.
Can he take another 4 laps of this? This is absolutely remarkable, isn't it? I don't know what Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood have done though. They've upset a higher power, they've broken a mirror or injured a black cat or walked under a ladder or something. They're completely out of luck this year after their second place of yesterday. This is where all the drama happened just a lap or so ago. And there's the sidecar outfits parked up there with the riders and the drivers and passengers looking on from the barrier. At least everyone's all right.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I will say in Ricky's favour, if you like, is that we talked about a mojo yesterday. He's got to his old speed. Here comes Holden making a move on Chris Walker and taking that second place. There's nothing the stalker can do about that. He's going to try and cut back on the inside to get the power neck and neck.
This is absolutely tremendous stuff. He gets him behind him now for second helping of slipstream. That's Kershaw in the background, but he's a lap down, isn't he? But Kershaw looks as though he's 4th on the road at the top of the hill there, but he's actually a lap down. But where is he? He's actually in 3-point scoring position now, is Steve Kershaw, after pitting with what we can only imagine was some damage earlier on in the race and then rejoining. He's on for 3 points. Who knows how important they might be by the end of the year.
Yeah, and don't forget, at the very final round at Brands Hatch, we have double points up for grabs. So, you know, this championship could be turned on its head at any point during the season. That bit of debris on the side there. I'm just wondering, was that Kershaw's wheel arch? No, obviously not, because unless he's had another one put on.
We saw somebody throwing it off, didn't we? Was it...
Could have come for the lap, you know. It was all happening so quickly, I have to confess I didn't spot who it was.
I think it was, if my memory serves me right, it was Lewis Blackstock and Paddy Rosney. I seem to remember Rosney throwing it away from under... We saw this... No, it was Gary Bryan, wasn't he? We saw them throwing it away from under the wheel arch. I don't know if it was their own debris or they've run over someone else's debris. So maybe that's it, Barry. Maybe it's Kershaw's debris that Gary Bryan then ran over later in the race and they were forced to throw it away, get rid of it, jettison it. Anyway.
Well, that will do.
They got it sorted. That's my prediction. Probably completely wrong, but that's my prediction.
Well, what a race we've got here then. John Holden in second place, but away up the road now with a fastest lap, 52.888. But the new record went yesterday to Stevens, 51.15. So still almost a second off that lap record pace. These guys, the race leaders, with a couple of laps remaining, but Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson will enhance their championship lead now. They will move further ahead of Steve Kershaw than when they came here north of the border.
John Holden, incidentally, yet to score this weekend. He was outside the points yesterday. He's had one podium this year. That was when he finished third in the second race at Brands Hatch a couple of weeks ago. But don't forget, away from the BSB calendar, these guys have had a series of races at Cadwell Park, and the revival that went on there last weekend, and very dramatic it was too. What's happening further down? Biggs is still fourth, Kirk is fifth from Bryan and Hyde. They're running in sixth place. Brian Gray seventh, and it's Gilbert and Pillmore Brady eighth. Gary Horsepole, who started on pole in this reverse grid race, is ninth now, and Kevin Cable with Kyle Masters making progress all the time. Those two, they're in the top 10 again.
And we're looking at 13 finishers as we sit here at the moment, whereas yesterday all 18 outfits finished, including Ben Holland, who stopped to do some repairs in pit lane.
I'm amazed that there's still as many as 13 crews left in this race. It feels like they've been dropping almost by the lap, doesn't it?
It's been a demolition derby, that's for sure.
Into the final lap of this race then, Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson absolutely controlling the pace now. They do have the fastest lap of the race on a 52.888 as they come up to lap the number 11 of Dean Nichols and Kenny Cole. No panic. If this was a battle for the lead, of course, there would be right panic through the chicane to get held up there, but that's perfect stuff for Ellis and Richardson. They come through to yet another glorious victory. Isn't it amazing how things change? They went into Cadwell as contenders, but somewhat distant. They went out of Cadwell having had a tremendous run there of all three wins. Of course, they'd also won the second race at Brands a weekend before that, so this is going to be another glorious one for them.
Victory number 5. Yep, and that's impressive. 600 cups last year, and they take the checkered flag. Greg, what a race that has been, eh?
Absolutely breathless race of the British Sidecar Championship. 5 wins from the last 6 for Ellis and Richardson. Holden and Kane, their best result, and look at the delight there as Chris Walker and Ashley Hawes, reunited as driver and passenger here, are on the podium in only their second race back together. But for Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson, a major result there, with all of their closest championship rivals hitting trouble and scoring either no or very few points. What a day for Ellis and Richardson. Barry Nutley and Greg Haynes are pretty much out of breath, but we'll just get through these results. Ellis and Richardson, that's 5 wins from the last 6 races. John Holden at 61 years of age, as quick as ever with Lee Kane alongside. Second for them, best result of the season and their second podium of 2019. And reunited with Ashley Hawes as passenger, Chris the Stalker Walker led this race and is back on the podium at a BSB meeting. Glorious podium for him here in the Sidecar Championship, but some brilliant performances behind as well. Biggs and Smits, Kirk and Smithers, others of course just survived as Gary Horsepole finished 9th from the pole position in this reverse grid race. Important points further back for the reigning champions. They had contact on the opening lap. Kershaw and Clark 13th for 3 points. Stevens and Charwood classified 7 laps down, despite the spin that put them out of the lead at the chicane. So close to what would have been their first win of the year, but they still pick up a point nonetheless.